The Pharmacy Mission Bill 2023 recently the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare they sought public comments on the draft National Pharmacy Commission Bill 2023. It aims to replace the Pharmacy Act of 1948 and the existing Pharmacy Council of India with National Pharmacy Commission. Pharmacy Council of India हम चाहते हैं उसे National Pharmacy Commission. Pharmacy Act 1948 it regulates the practice and the profession of the pharmacy. The legislation aims to promote the national health goal, improve access to quality as well as affordable pharmaceutical education, increase the availability of high quality pharmacy professional, establish an effective grievance redressal mechanism for relevant matters, promote equitable healthcare by making pharmacy service accessible to all citizens. Grievance redressal, high quality pharmacy professional, pharmaceutical education, national health goal, equitable healthcare, transparent assessment of pharmacy institution, facilitating the maintenance of the pharmacy register for India. Encourage the pharmacy professional to adopt the latest pharmacy research, contribute to research and uphold the high ethical standard. Okay, key provisions of the draft National Pharmacy Commission Bill 2003. Central government he will establish the National Pharmacy Commission with its head office in New Delhi on the recommendation of the Circum Selection Committee. Composition of the National Pharmacy Commission, condition and list term of office of members and removal. Composition इसमें एक चेयरमैन होंगे, 13 ex officio members होंगे और 14 पार्ट टाइम मेंबर होंगे. ठीक है, फिर से देख लो, इसमें एक चेयरपर्सन होंगे, 13 एक्स ऑफिशियो मेंबर होंगे और 14 पार्ट टाइम मेंबर. चेयरपर्सन ही शी shall be appointed by the central government based on a set of qualifications including that he she be the registered pharmacist, has proven administrative capacity and experience of not less than 10 years among other. Condition and term of office. Members will hold office for a term not exceeding 4 years or 65 years of age from the date on which they enter upon their office and shall not be eligible for any extension or reappointment for the same post or equivalent post. However, they shall be eligible for appointment to a higher post after a cooling off period of at least 6 months. Members will hold office for a term not exceeding 4 years or 65 years of age from the date on which they enter upon their office. 4 साल 65 साल and shall not be eligible for any extension or reappointment for the same post or equivalent post. However, they shall be eligible for appointment to a higher post after a cooling off period of at least 6 months. It is done by the removal is done by the central government by order if the member has been adjudged insolvent, has been convicted of an offence, or has become physically or mentally incapable among the other. Function of the Commission: frame policies, regulate standards for governance of pharmacy education and training. The policies, regulation, exercise appellate jurisdiction with respect to decision of board, provide basic standard of education, physical and standard of education, physical and instructional facility, research, maximum tuition fee payable, collaborate with industry and other institutions for the use of the cutting edge technology and the hybrid education to drive innovation and research in the pharmacy field. Circum Selection Committee. Composition of the Circum Selection Committee. Chairperson इसमें सेक्रेटरी होंगे, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हेल्थ एंड फैमिली वेलफेयर होंगे. इसमें मेंबर्स आर नॉमिनेटेड बाय द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट. 3 फार्मेसी एक्सपर्ट होने चाहिए. ठीक है. कंपोजिशन सर्कम सेलेक्टिव कमेटी इसमें चेयरपर्सन कौन होंगे, सेक्रेटरी. मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हेल्थ एंड फैमिली वेलफेयर के मेंबर्स अपॉइंटेड बाय द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट. 3 फार्मेसी एक्सपर्ट विद क्वालिफिकेशन and experience of not less than 20 years in a pharmacy education. 1 person possessing outstanding qualification and experience of not less than 20 years in the management or law or economics or science and technology. Management, law, economics, science and technology. 3 board हो गए. अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ बोर्ड. सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट shall constitute 3 board. Function as a National Pharmacy Commission. एक pharmacy education board to maintain every pharmacy qualification granted by any university or the pharmacy institution in India. Pharmacy Assessment and Rating Board. Establishment of new pharmacy institution or courses prohibited without prior permission from this board. Pharmacy Ethics and Registration Board. Assessment and Rating and registration to maintain the National Pharmacy Register containing the details of the pharmacy professional and ensuring the transparency. National Pharmacy Register containing details of the pharmacy professional, ensuring transparency. Composition of board. Each board shall not have more than 2 whole-time members and 2 part-time members other than a president. Term of office and the condition of service of president and member. Tenure of the president, whole-time members. Will not have 2 whole-time member, 2 part-time member other than the president. Tenure of the president, whole-time member will be 4 years and shall not be eligible for any extension or reappointment. However, they shall be eligible to be considered for the post of the chairperson of commission after the cooling off period of 6 months. Tenure of the part-time member will be the 2 and they shall not be eligible for any extension of the reappointment of board or commission. Pharmacy Advisory Council appointment. It is also be constituted by the central government to advise the commission on the measures to enhance the equitable access to pharmacy education, research and training. National Pharmacy Commission Fund about a fund will be constituted which shall form the part of the public account of India. Fund shall be applied for making payment toward the salaries and allowances is payable to the chairperson, secretary, member of commission, president, and the members of the board and administrative extension. India is recognized as the pharmacy of the world as it produces the global standard medicine at an affordable cost. Thus, a growth enabling framework is essential and for the sector to meet the evolving healthcare demand along with the embracing innovation, encouraging collaboration. Evolving healthcare demand, embracing innovation, encouraging collaboration. News on short Leap Ahead initiative. Leap Ahead launchpad for tech entrepreneurs toward the accelerated growth and the pioneering ahead is a pan-India initiative. It was launched to select the tech startups for high-quality mentorship, securing investment, establishing global connection. It was launched to select tech startup for high-quality mentorship, securing investment and establishing global connection. Leap Ahead Pan-India initiative. It was launched to select the tech startup. Leap Ahead, a launchpad for tech entrepreneurs toward the accelerated growth and pioneering ahead is a pan-India initiative. It was launched to select the tech startup for high-quality mentorship, securing investment and establishing global connection. Leap Ahead is designed for tech startup with early traction and in the growth stage. A collaboration with the collaboration of Software Technology Parks of India, and the Indus Entrepreneurs. Leap Ahead is designed for the tech startup with early traction in the growth stage and a group of investors. Significance of Leap Ahead initiative: enable the startup to establish a product market fit, identify the customer segment, grow hedging strategies, business compliance, leadership recruitment and fundraising. About the STPI, फिर से STPI का full form देख लो, Software Technology Park of India. Software Technology Park of India, a premier science and technology organization under the MITI, engaged in promoting the software export, nurturing tech startup ecosystem. सॉफ्टवेयर को एक्सपोर्ट करेंगे, टेक्निकल स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम को नर्चर करेंगे. ठीक है. माइक्रो फाइनेंस इंडिया रिसेंटली रिपोर्टेड माइक्रो मैटर्स माइक्रो व्यू was released by the Microfinance Industry Network. Microfinance Industry Network is an association of the non-bank finance company microfinance institution established in 2009. It is an umbrella body of the microfinance institution of the country. The key findings of the report are the national banking finance non-bank finance company under the microfinance institution and followed by banks are the largest provider of the microcredit amongst the other regulatory entities. Microfinance institution, the gross non-performing asset decreased from 5.6% to 2.7%. The share of the East and the Northeast India state fell to 34.9 from 37% last year. The microfinance refers to the financial service provided to the low-income individuals or the group who are typically excluded from traditional banking. Financial equality. It helps in bringing the unbanked and the underbanked population into the formal banking system. Women empowerment. A significant proportion of the microfinance borrowers are women. Poverty alleviation provide the poor with access to credit made for income-generating activities, breaking the cycle of the poverty and enabling economic mobility. Community development through self-help groups and the community-based approaches. Microfinance has facilitated social cohesion and community development. Issues with MFI. Take a community engagement through her self-help group, community-based approaches. Microfinance has facilitated social cohesion and community development. इश्यूज़ क्या है? लो आउटरीच है, हाई इंटरेस्ट रेट है. ठीक है, आउटरीच कम है, इंटरेस्ट रेट भी ज़्यादा, नेग्लिजेंस ऑफ अर्बन पुअर, इंस्टीट्यूशंस ऑफ एवरग्रीनिंग ऑफ ओवरड्यू लोन. गवर्नमेंट इनिशिएटिव फॉर द माइक्रो फाइनेंस इन इंडिया. सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप बैंक लिंकेज प्रोग्राम टू इंक्रीज द लोड वॉल्यूम ऑफ द सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप. E-Shakti program to digitize the account of various self-help group. PM Swanidhi providing affordable working capital loan to street vendors. E-Shakti to digitize the account of the various self-help group. E-Shakti में सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप के अकाउंट को डिजिटलाइज करेंगे. PM Swanidhi लोन providing affordable working capital loan to the street vendors. Direct listing. Companies Amendment Act 2020 Section 5 has been notified by the Ministry of the Corporate Affairs. It amended the Companies Act 2013 and allowed the direct listing for certain class of unlisted companies to directly issue a certain class of securities in foreign stock exchange. Direct listing वैसा process होता है by which a company can go public by selling existing shares instead of offering new on. It facilitates access to global capital. Till now, Indian companies can access overseas equity market only through depository receipt or by listing their debt securities on foreign market. Credit information companies. RBI had directed the credit information company to introduce a compensation framework जितनी भी क्रेडिट इंफॉर्मेशन कंपनीज हैं टू इंट्रोड्यूस अ कंपनसेशन फ्रेमवर्क for delay in updation or rectification of a credit information of borrower. A CIC shall pay compensation to the complaint if the complaint could not be resolved within 30 days. CIC maintains the credit information of borrowers which can be accessed by banks and other lenders. They collect information from banks, credit card companies and the non-bank financial companies. Lending institutions refer to CIC credit report to decide borrowers' credit worthiness. CIC are licensed by RBI credit information companies. ठीक है, RBI. Now next है investors risk reduction access. Investor risk reduction access platform CB has launched the investor risk reduction access platform at Bombay Stock Exchange, saying IRA has been developed to reduce the risk faced by the investors in eventuality of on the technical glitches and the trading members end at both the primary side and the disaster recovery side. It is available to trading members supporting internet-based trading and security trading through wireless technology for their investors. It has been jointly developed by all stock exchange, Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange, NCDX, MCS and Metropolitan Stock Exchange of India. UN Convention on International Tax Cooperation. India voted in favor of the United Nations General Assembly resolution to establish a UN Convention on International Tax Cooperation. The resolution titled Promotion of Inclusive and Effective International Tax Cooperation at the UN was introduced by the Promotion of Inclusive and Effective International Tax Cooperation at the UN. Promotion of inclusive, effective international tax cooperation at the UN. Inclusive and effective international tax cooperation at the UN was introduced by Nigeria. Objective of the resolution maintains forming a member state-led, open and intergovernmental ad hoc committee to develop a comprehensive UN tax convention. It prioritizes international tax cooperation, aiming to finalize the UN tax convention by June 2025. Significance need of the move. It addresses various issues related to the global taxation via aggressive tax avoidance, illicit finance flow, recovery of stolen asset, fair tax avoidance, aggressive tax avoidance, illicit financial flow. Address the significant need of the UN related to global taxation. टैक्स अवॉइड करते हैं, illicit financial flow होता है, recovery of stolen asset, fair taxation of the digital economy, etc. Prevent over 480 billion in loss in tax income every year due to international tax abuse. End of the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development monopoly in tax-related policy. OECD monopoly. Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development allows all countries to participate in developing the rules by respecting the tax sovereignty. It promotes, ठीक है, जो टैक्स सोवरेनिटी है उसको रेस्पेक्ट करना चाहिए, पार्टिसिपेट इन डेवलपिंग रूल, प्रमोट कोऑपरेशन फॉर अ फेयर हो, सस्टेनेबल हो एंड मॉडर्न इंटरनेशनल, प्रमोट कोऑपरेशन फॉर अ फेयर, सस्टेनेबल एंड मॉडर्न international tax system. United Nations General Assembly, one of the 6 principal organs of the United Nations, its power, composition, functions and the procedure are set out in Chapter 4 of the United Nations 1945. It appointed the Secretary General on the recommendation of the Security Council, considers and approves the United Nations budget. At UN budget, discuss any question relating to the international peace and the security. ठीक है, appointing the Secretary General on the recommendation of Secretary General कौन अपॉइंट करता है, यही on the recommendation of Security Council. Union budget, discuss any question relating to international peace and security, initiate studies and make recommendations to promote international political cooperation and development and codification of the international law and the realization of the human rights and the fundamental freedom. इसमें 193 member state है. Is India member? Yes, it is a member. Devas investors case. Court in The Hague rejected the Indian government plea against the compulsory to Devas investors. Mauritius investors of Devas Multimedia were awarded $111 million in compensation by the United Nations Commission on International Trade Law. United Nations Commission on International Trade Law Tribunal over a failed 2005 deal with Anthrax Corporation. ठीक है, okay. Mauritius investor in Devas were awarded इतना million in इतना tribunal over a failed 2005 deal with Anthrax Corp. Under the deal, the ISRO was supposed to lease 2 communication satellites for 12 years to Devas Multimedia. The cabinet terminated the agreement due to the security reason in 2011. So, Anthrax is the commercial arm of the ISRO. So, Indian government approached the District Court of The Hague for cancellation of the neutral award, citing the 2022 Indian Supreme Court order. Supreme Court ruled for the liquidation of the Davis Multimedia on the charge of fraud. An award made under the judicial arbitration rule is binding on all parties for the proceeding. So arbitration in laws in India, India's Arbitration and the Conciliation Act of 1996, it was amended in 2019, has been modeled on lines of the United Nations Convention on International Tribunal Law framework of law. So it aims to modernize the Indian arbitration law and bring it in line with the best global practice, and also make India a global hub of arbitration. So New Delhi International Arbitration Center Act 2019 established New Delhi International Arbitration Center, later named Indian International Arbitration Center. United Nations Commission on International Trade Law Vienna headquarter इसका Vienna ऑस्ट्रिया, न्यूयॉर्क USA में है. About it is the core legal body of the United Nations system of international trade law. It was established in 1966 with the United Nations Intermediate Resolution. So to remove the legal obstacle to international trade, कोई भी legal obstacle international trade by progressively modernizing as well as harmonizing. हमें अपने ट्रेड लॉ को मॉडर्नाइज करना है, हार्मोनाइज करना है. 70 member states represent the different geographical regions. The General Assembly elects member for a term of 6 years. General Assembly elect करता है, elects members for a term of 70 member states represent a different geographical region. The General Assembly elects member for a term of 6 years. India's membership expired in 2005. भारतीय 20 सहकारी समिति लिमिटेड, the Ministry of Cooperation unveiled the logo and website brochure of the भारतीय 20 सहकारी समिति लिमिटेड, भारतीय 20 सहकारी समिति लिमिटेड 2023 to provide certified and scientifically prepared seed to every farmer in the country. It was established under the Multi-State Cooperative Society Act of 2002. It will contribute to the field of the traditional seed conservation. जो ट्रेडिशनल सीड है उसे कंजर्व करेंगे, प्रमोशन करेंगे, उसका रिसर्च करेंगे. ट्रेडिशनल सीड हैव टू बी कंजर्व एंड पास ऑन टू द कमिंग जनरेशन सो दैट द प्रोडक्शन ऑफ द हेल्दी ग्रेन, fruit and vegetable continues. It is jointly promoted by the Indian Farmers Fertilizer Cooperative Limited, कृषक भारतीय कोऑपरेटिव लिमिटेड, नेशनल एग्रीकल्चर कोऑपरेटिव मार्केटिंग फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडिया, नेशनल डेयरी डेवलपमेंट बोर्ड, नेशनल कोऑपरेटिव डेवलपमेंट कॉर्पोरेशन. तो इतना सारे हो गए. इसमें बेसिकली कितना हो गया? भारतीय बीज सहकारी समिति लिमिटेड, इंडियन फार्मर फर्टिलाइजर, कृषक भारतीय कोऑपरेटिव, नेशनल एग्रीकल्चर कोऑपरेटिंग फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडिया, कोऑपरेटिव मार्केटिंग फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडिया, नेशनल डेयरी डेवलपमेंट बोर्ड, नेशनल कोऑपरेटिव डेवलपमेंट कॉर्पोरेशन. दे आर प्लेइंग अ की रोल. Increase in IMF quota. International Monetary Fund Executive Board approval a proposal to increase in IMF quota. The board proposes a 50% quota increase allocated to the members in proportion to their current quota. Now the proposal will be considered and voted on by the board of the governors, after which it will be made effective. International Monetary Fund IMF, International Monetary Fund Executive Board approved a proposal to increase in IMF Executive Board approved a proposal to increase in IMF quota. The board proposes a 50% quota increase allocated to members in proportion to their current quotas. Now the proposal will be considered and voted on by the board of governors, after which it will be made effective. Significance of the rise in the quota. It will help safeguard the पूरे ग्लोब की फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी by enhancing the IMF's permanent resources. It will reduce reliance on borrowed resources. IMF का permanent resource बढ़ जाएगा. Reliance on the borrowed resource. Currently, the fund relies on the bilateral borrowing arrangement and pledges to a crisis lending fund called a new arrangement to borrow for nearly 60% of its lending resource. About the IMF quota. Quotas are the building block of the IMF financial and the governance structure. Quotas are denominated in special drawing right, the IMF's unit of account. Use of quota to determine resource contribution of a member. Voting power in IMF decision. Member can get 1 vote per SDR of 1 lakh of quota plus basic vote, which are the same for all members. So amount of loans a member cannot win from the IMF. General allocation to of special drawing right. So India currently has a quota of 2.7% with a voting right of 2.63%. IMF quota formula: economic variability, GDP, international reserves, openness to the global economy. International Competition Network. The Competition Commission of India became a member of the steering group of the International Competition Network for the first time. CCI membership will be for 2 years. So ICN, International Competition Network, is a specialized yet informal network of 150 competition authorities. ICN mission is to advocate the adoption of superior standard as well as the procedure in competition policy around the world. Standard and procedure. It is guided by this apex body, the steering group of 18 members. Broadcasting Service Regulation Bill 2023. Ministry of Information and Broadcasting proposed Broadcasting Service Regulation Bill 2023. It will replace the Cable TV Network Regulation Act 1995 and other policy guidelines that govern the information and the broadcasting sector. Ministry of Information and Broadcasting proposed the Broadcasting Service Information and Broadcasting proposed the Broadcasting Service Regulation Bill 2023. It will replace the Cable TV Regulation 1995 and other policy guidelines that govern the information and broadcasting sector. Key provision: consolidated legal framework. It will cover the OTT, direct to home DTH, and IPTV, internet protocol television, digital news and current affairs, etc. Introduction of the content evaluation committee, content को evaluate करेगी committee to enhance self-regulation. Program and advertisement code. It allows for a differentiated approach and requires self-classification by the broadcasters and the access control measure for restricted content. Broadcast Advisory Council. It will replace the existing interdepartmental committee. Equitable penalties. Monetary penalties and the fine will be linked to the financial capacity of the entity. Monetary penalties and the fines will be linked to the financial capacity of the entity. Accessibility measures for the person with disabilities by including provision for the issue of the comprehensive accessibility guideline. Infrastructure sharing and the platform service bill provides infrastructure sharing among broadcasting network operators and the carriage of the platform service to infrastructure sharing. Need of the bill: adopt unified and future focused approach, improve broadcasting sector regulatory framework by replacing outdated act, rules and guidelines, promote inclusion of the Divyangjan community, enhance the ease of doing business as a one-stop legislation. Digital Advertisement Policy 2003. Ministry of Information and Broadcasting approved the Digital Advertisement Policy 2003. It will enable the CBC, Central Bureau of Communication, to leverage the digital media space to create awareness about the government schemes and the policies. Objective of the policy is to improve the social media outreach of various ministries and departments of the Government of India, to implement a policy framework that will enable the ministries and the CBC to engage with social media platform, enable the CBC to empanel the agencies and the organization in the OTT and a video on demand space, the empanelment of the digital audio platform to leverage the growing number of listeners to the podcast and the digital audio. So it introduces the competitive bidding for rate discovery, ensuring transparency, efficiency, empower the CBC to onboard new and innovative communication platform in the digital space. Empower करो उसे. Benefit क्या है? Effective delivery of the citizen-centric message in a targeted manner. Cost effectiveness in the public-oriented campaign. Leverage a huge subscriber base. Internet penetration in India so March 2023 is over 880 million and over 880 million and over 1172 million telecom subscriber. Technology enabled messaging option can channelize public service campaign messages through mobile application. Central Bureau of Communication. It acts as an advisory body to the government on media strategy. Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. It was set up in 2017 by the integration of the erstwhile Directorate of Advertising and Visual Publicity, Directorate of Field Publicity, Song and Drama Vision, to advance the government's image as the prime facilitator of people's empowerment by positioning messages through print media, audiovisual, outdoor and digital media. Insurance Security Bond. National Highway Authority of India accepted the first insurance surety bond as a bid security. About insurance surety bond, it is a three-party contract by which one party, the surety, guarantees the performance or the obligations of a second party, the principal, to a third party, the obligee. तो एक हो गया इसमें surety, the principal, obligee. It acts as a security arrangement for infrastructure project and usually the contractor as well as the principal. Insurance Security Board allows the IDAI in April 2022 has been bought as a replacement of the bank guarantee. Reference fuel. Indian Oil Corporation of India launched the India's पहला gasoline and diesel reference fuel. gasoline or diesel का reference fuel. Currently reference fuels are being imported by India. So reference fuels are the premium high value products used for calibration and testing of vehicles by auto original equipment manufacturer OEM, an organization involved in testing and certification in automotive field. So specification requirement of reference fuels are more stringent than the commercial gasoline and the diesel. So indigenous reference fuel, it meets the automotive industry standard specification and is available at better price with reduced lead time. Better price with reduced lead time. ओके नेक्स्ट पढ़ते हैं हम लोग. नेक्स्ट है सिक्योरिटी. ठीक है, क्या है हमारा नेक्स्ट टॉपिक? सिक्योरिटी. ओके, security, the disturbance in neighboring nations and in India's internal security. Recently, after a gunfight between the Myanmar army and the pro-democracy militaries, about 1,500 people sought refuge in Mizoram's Champai district. Background of the civil war in the Myanmar. Myanmar has been unstable since military coup in February 2021, in which a democratically elected government led by the Nobel laureate Aung San Suu Kyi was instated. The recent conflict was part of the ongoing civil unrest between the Myanmar army of the ruling military Junta of the Junta or the Tatmadaw and the pro-democracy militias, the Brotherhood Alliance, Tatmadaw. Okay, ethical dilemma of the refugee and the illegal migrant. Argument for accepting the refugee: to uphold the right of the migrant, which must be guaranteed by all countries. Here is the principle of non-refoulement gains significance. The principle prohibits the state from transferring or removing the individual from their jurisdiction for believing that the person would be at risk upon return. Transferring or removing. Okay. Humanitarianism. It demands that the human accord respectful treatment and meaningful assistance to fellow beings, and especially to the vulnerable. Concept of global citizenship. Transcending national boundaries in the era of the we have a interconnected globalized world, so we have to transcend the national boundaries. Argument against the accepting refugees. Against national security. Illegal migrants are more vulnerable to getting recruited against accepting refuse. So against national security, because जो illegal migrant होते हैं, they are very vulnerable to getting recruited by terrorist organization, governance, as it's difficult to process and integrate a large number of refugees. अब ना ही उनको process कर पाएंगे, ना ही उनको integrate कर पाएंगे. Resource allocation. It puts a strain on the economy as it may require the additional resource for their housing, education and healthcare. Okay. उसके बाद फिर क्या होता है? The alliance is comprised of 3 ethnic armed group. एक है म्यांमार नेशनल डेमोक्रेटिक अलायंस, म्यांमार नेशनल डेमोक्रेटिक अलायंस आर्मी. एक है तांग नेशनल लिबरेशन आर्मी एंड द अराकन आर्मी. These attacks are followed by the major coordinated attacks on the regime force by 3 ethnic armed group. Term Operation 1027. The UN states that stated around 2 lakh have been displaced following the current hostilities. India state advocates for the cessation of the hostilities and dialogue in Myanmar while continuing its security cooperation with the junta to address the insurgency. Security cooperation किसके साथ? While continuing the security cooperation with the junta to address the insurgency. The regional instability caused by the conflict in the Myanmar has become a significant concern for the India's internal security as well. Characteristic of India's neighborhood diversity. It is a highly diverse, having absorbed cultural, social, political, economic influence from far-flung area. Its severity. India, China, and several times population as well as size. Sorry, बहुत नींद आ रही है. Than any other country. Democracy has taken root in India, but the task of nation building. Democracy has taken root in India, but the task of nation building is yet not complete in the neighboring countries. So least indicated region. It is one of the world's least indicated region despite the numerous commonalities and the complementaries. So my neighborhood में बहुत commonalities है, बहुत complementaries हैं, complementarities हैं, but हम integrated नहीं हैं. Influence of external power. External powers have traditionally had a large influence on the development in the region. Impact of disturbance in the neighborhood on India's internal security. Illegal influx of the refugees. This may cause the unrest among the local population. Local population के साथ unrest हो जाएगा and raise concern about the infiltration of the extremists, smuggling of narcotics, weapons. So migration from Bangladesh during the Bangladesh Liberation War of 1971 led to the ethnic clashes in the region of the Northeast India. So this also happened during the Rohingya crisis in the Myanmar. Political instability, poor law and order in the neighboring region. It facilitates the criminal activities such as law and order नहीं है तो criminal activities like drug trafficking, arms smuggling, counterfeit currency. So there are pretenses about the flourishing drug trade in the Shan state, known for the narcotics production sneaking into India. Drug trade in the Shan state sneaking into India. Cross-border terrorism. India has faced persistent challenges related to cross-border terrorism due to instability in the Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Myanmar. India has faced persistent challenges related to cross-border terrorism. India has faced persistent challenges. India has faced persistent challenges related to cross-border terrorism due to instability in Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Myanmar. Terrorist organizations as the United Nations Liberation Front of Assam get safe haven in Myanmar or Bangladesh due to the porous border and law and order situation in these countries. Okay. Cross-border terrorism. India has faced persistent challenges related to cross-border terrorism due to instability of the Pakistan, Bangladesh, and the Myanmar. Terrorist organizations as the United Nations Liberation Front of Assam, they get a safe haven in the Myanmar or Bangladesh due to the porous border, law and order situation in these countries. Escalation of internal conflict. The influx of the refugees in Manipur may heighten the ethnic conflict between the Kuki and the Metis community. Metis people have accused the Kuki community, who have ethnic ties with Myanmar's Chin state, of sheltering their kinspeople from Myanmar, which they feel will alter the demographic balance. India's engagement with its neighbor to bring peace. Joint military exercise to promote exchange of ideas, joint rehearse technique, and procedure for conducting tactical operation. For example, Sampriti exercise with Bangladesh support democracy. India has been a strong proponent of democracy to give power to the people. Humanitarian aid. India's disaster response capacity were rapidly and effectively deployed in response to disaster ranging from the tsunami in Sri Lanka, water crisis in Maldives, Operation Neer to the earthquake in Nepal. India's Citizen Amendment Act generally provides amnesty and a fast track to citizenship for certain refugees currently in India from 3 neighboring countries. India is supporting more than 1 lakh Tibetan refugees and the Central Tibetan Administration based in Dhamchala. Way forward to resolve threat due to disturbance in the neighboring countries. Security. Strengthen the border security. Through advanced technology, increase personnel and improved infrastructure. Here in the recommendation. Advanced technology, increase personnel, improve infrastructure. Technology, personal, infrastructure. That here in the recommendation of the Madhukar Gupta country assume significance. You need to check the illegal migration. Ministry of External Affairs would work in close coordination at the Ministry of the Home Affairs and the state government to address the issue of illegal migration by monitoring the demographic changes along the bordering region. The government should also take up the issues of repatriation of such illegal migrants with the government of neighboring countries for an early resolution. Utilize diplomatic engagement along with the bilateral dialogue. India should use various multilateral forums such as the UN, Commonwealth, and SARC to engage with the neighborhood nation for the peaceful and well the coordinated resolution of the internal issues. Strengthening intelligence effort holistically by combining technology, human intelligence, international cooperation to create a very robust defense against the cross-border terrorism. Global nuclear regulation. Recently, the Russian parliament passed a bill revoking Russia's ratification of the comprehensive test ban treaty. The passage of the bill will mirror the stand taken by the US, which has signed but not ratified the comprehensive test ban treaty. The move has raised concern that Russia may resume the nuclear test to try to discourage the West from continuing to offer military support to Ukraine. The incident shed light on the nuclear regulation and their efficacy across the globe. International regulation regarding the nuclear regulation. Comprehensive test ban treaty. It prohibits any nuclear weapon test, explosion, or any other nuclear explosion anywhere in the world. The treaty, adopted in 1996, cannot formally enter into force until it is ratified by the 44 specific nations, so 8 of which have yet to do so. तो 44 से करना है, जिसमें से 8 ने अभी तक नहीं किया है. फॉर एग्जांपल चाइना, इंडिया, पाकिस्तान, नॉर्थ कोरिया, चाइना ने नहीं किया, इंडिया ने नहीं किया, पाकिस्तान ने नहीं किया, नॉर्थ कोरिया ने नहीं किया, इजराइल, ईरान, इंडिया, इजराइल, ईरान, Egypt, US, Israel signed किया. It did not sign the treaty due to the failure of the treaty to include the commitment by the nuclear weapon state to eliminate nuclear weapons within a time-bound manner. भाई वो लोग कर नहीं रहे हैं तो हम क्या करते हैं. Non-Proliferation Treaty of 1968. It is aimed at limiting the spread of the nuclear weapon through the state pillars of the non-proliferation, disarmament, peaceful use of nuclear energy. India, South Sudan, Israel, Pakistan, they have never been signatories of the treaty, and North Korea withdrew from the treaty in 2003. ठीक है. India, South Sudan, Israel, Pakistan, they have never been the signatories of the treaty, and North Korea withdrew. North Korea ने साइन कर दी थी Non-Proliferation Treaty of 1968, लेकिन फिर 2003 में बाहर आ गया. So India did not sign the treaty due to the biases as they divided the world into nuclear haves and the nuclear have not. The International Atomic Energy Agency is entrusted with the key verification responsibility in the treaty. Okay, International Atomic Energy Agency, Vienna, Austria, headquarter है. ये भी एक autonomous organization that came into force in 1957. It works for the safe, secure, as well as the peaceful use of the nuclear science and technology. Safe, secure, peaceful. 178 countries है. India इसका member है. Encourages and assist research, development, practical application of atomic energy for peaceful uses throughout the world. It provides independent and international verification that governments are abiding by their commitment to the peaceful use of nuclear technology. It enhances the national, regional, and international capacities to respond to the nuclear and radiological incident. It is an independent international organization that reports annually to the United Nations General Security Council. Treaty on the Prohibition of the Nuclear Weapon. So it is ये पहली legally binding multilateral agreement है to ban the nuclear. Legally binding कौन सा है? Treaty on Prohibition of Nuclear Weapon, a United Nations treaty adopted in July 2017, came into force in 2021, signed by 91 states, ratified by 68 states. India did not sign. The treaty does not constitute or contribute to the development of customary international law, nor does it set any new standards or the norm. ना ही कोई international law बनाता है, ना ही कोई standard, ना ही कोई norm. So why? The concept of the nuclear weapon free zone. It is a regional approach of strengthening global nuclear non-proliferation, disarmament norms and consolidating international effort towards the peace and security. Presently, there are 5 treaties: Treaty of Tlatelolco for Latin America and the Caribbean, Treaty of Rarotonga for South Pacific. Okay, ये न्यूक्लियर रीजनल है, ठीक है. Treaty of Bangkok for Southeast Asia, Treaty of Pelindaba for Africa, Treaty of Semipalatinsk for Central Asia. So Nuclear Supply Group 1974, it was established after India's nuclear test by the name of Operation Smiling Buddha in 1974 and has 48 members. ठीक है, तब न्यूक्लियर सप्लाई ग्रुप है. इट एम टू प्रिवेंट द न्यूक्लियर एक्सपोर्ट फॉर द कॉमर्शियल. ये क्या करता है? प्रिवेंट करता है न्यूक्लियर एक्सपोर्ट का लिए commercial and peaceful purpose. It aims to prevent the nuclear export for commercial and peaceful purposes from being used to make nuclear weapon. So India wants the NSG membership to enhance its nuclear power capacity and its need for raw nuclear material. Other treaties जैसे MTCR, Missile Technology Control Regime, it seeks to limit the risk of the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction by controlling the export of the goods and the technology that could contribute to delivery system. So Fissile Material Cut-off Treaty. It is a proposed international agreement that would prohibit the production of the two main components of nuclear weapon, highly enriched uranium and plutonium. Proposed international agreement that would prohibit the production of two main components of nuclear weapon. कौन सा है? Highly enriched uranium and plutonium. Outer Space Treaty. It prohibits the placing of the nuclear weapons in space. India is a member of the Outer Space Treaty. Okay. Effectiveness. India member है? हाँ. Effectiveness of global nuclear regulation consensus building. Global consensus has been achieved on the International Atomic Energy Agency established safety standard against the harmful effects of ionizing radiation. Global consensus on International Atomic Energy Agency establishing safety standard against the harmful effects of the ionizing radiation. Reduction effectiveness of global ionizing radiation. Reduction in the world nuclear stockpile since its peak in mid-19 global arsenals have shrunk by over 3/4. Global arsenal कितना कम हो गया by have shrunk by over 3/4. More countries have given global arsenal have shrunk by over 3/4. More countries have given up weapons and programs in the past Asia that have tried to acquire them. Peaceful uses. It has been promoting peaceful use of nuclear technology for energy production. Basically हम क्या करना है? Effectiveness of global nuclear regulation consensus building have been achieved. IAEA safety standard against the harmful effect of the ionizing radiation. Reduction in nuclear world nuclear stockpile by 3/4. Okay. It has been promoting the peaceful use of nuclear technology for energy production, medicine के लिए, agriculture, research without diverting it for military purpose, limited nuclear testing. North Korea is the only nation to have tested a nuclear weapon in the 21st century. Mechanism for response to nuclear accident. IAEA, it helps maintain as well as strengthen the effective emergency, maintain and strengthen the effective emergency preparedness and response capability. IA helps maintain as well as strengthen the effective emergency के लिए preparedness and response capabilities on a national international level against the nuclear accident. Limitation of the global nuclear regulation, inadequacy and vacancies are raised concern about the illicit trafficking in nuclear material and the possibility of nuclear terrorism. Illicit trafficking हो सकती है, nuclear terrorism हो सकता है, to the access, budget, personal resources, technological resources of IAEA fall short of what would be needed to effectively monitor the nuclear proliferation. Effectively monitor नहीं कर पाता. Rapid advancement in nuclear technology. This includes the new reactor design and the fuel cycle pose challenges for the regulation to keep pace with the evolving test. Non-comply. Iran has allegedly engaged in a clandestine nuclear weapon program for many years in violation of its obligation under the Non-Proliferation Treaty as a state party. Limited focus on disarmament. Treaties like NPT, they do not specify an end date for achieving the disarmament. India's nuclear doctrine, building and maintaining a credible minimum deterrent. A posture of no first use nuclear weapon will only be used in the retaliation against a nuclear attack on Indian territory or Indian forces anywhere. Nuclear retaliation to a first nuclear retaliation to a first strike will be massive and designed to inflict unacceptable damage. Nuclear retaliatory attacks can only be authorized by the civilian political leadership through the Nuclear Command Authority. The continued commitment to the goal of a nuclear weapon-free world, through global, variable and non-global होना चाहिए, verifiable होना चाहिए, non-discriminated nuclear disarmament. Dual nature of technology. Countries may pursue nuclear program for peaceful purpose under full safeguard and later divert for military purpose. Lack of commitment. This is lacking from nuclear armed state for disarmament of the nuclear weapon. Due to the strategic importance of these weapons, lack of trust among the countries, this impedes the international cooperation and establishment of effective agreement and the transparency between the states regarding the nuclear weapon. Way forward, increasing IAEA budget and reforming its safeguard. ठीक है, बजट बढ़ाना, इंक्रीज बजट को बढ़ाना and reform its safeguard, security and personnel system. IA can regularly review and adapt to address the evolving challenges and regularly review करो और जो भी इवॉल्विंग चैलेंजेस और टेक्नोलॉजी का डेवलपमेंट है उसे अडॉप्ट करो. नेगोशिएटिंग न्यू एज नॉन डिस्क्रिमिनेटिंग न्यूक्लियर आर्म कंट्रोल ट्रीटी दैट एम टुवर्ड्स कंप्लीट न्यूक्लियर डिसआर्मament. It revisits the safeguard and constraint placed on the production of the fissile materials so that they cannot be used for military purpose. Role of UN should be to advance the international peace and security through the pursuit of the elimination of the nuclear weapon and other weapons of mass destruction as mentioned in its goal. Should be to advance international peace and security through the pursuit of the elimination of nuclear weapon and other weapons of mass destruction. Advance international peace and security, international peace through the pursuit of elimination of the nuclear weapon and other weapons of mass destruction as mentioned in its goal. NATO announced the formal suspension of the Treaty of Conventional Armed Force in response to Russia's pullout from the treaty. Formal suspension of the treaty. It was signed in 1990. The treaty sets equal limits on the number of tank, armored combat vehicle, heavy artillery in the NATO and the Warsaw Treaty Organization could deploy between the Atlantic Ocean and the Ural Mountain. Warsaw Treaty Organization, also known as Warsaw Pact, was a political and military alliance that was established in 1955. It was between the Soviet Union and the several Eastern European countries that disbanded in 1991. Eastern European countries that disbanded in 1991. Space may hold the key to our future on the Earth. No one can predict what the ultimate meaning will be of mastery of space. China has reportedly established the world's first near space command equipped with powerful hypersonic weapons. China has reportedly established the world's first near space command equipped with powerful hypersonic weapons. John F. Kennedy said, space may hold the key to our future on Earth. No one can predict what the ultimate meaning will be of mastery of space. The new command will act as China's fifth force apart from the four current Army, Navy, Air Force and Rocket Force. Near space, it refers to the area in the Earth's atmosphere approximately 20 km from the Earth's surface. In this region, the air is very thin, preventing military aircraft from flying, and the satellites can't be placed due to the strong gravity creating a no man's land region. In this region, the air is very thin. It will prevent the military aircraft from flying and satellites near space command. Okay, in this region, the air is very thin, preventing the military aircraft from flying, and satellite can't be placed with a strong gravity, creating a no man's land region. So the near space command will be equipped with modern hypersonic missile to target the critically military asset of the enemy. Hypersonic missile are projectiles that can move at a speed of at least Mach 5 times the speed of sound. Such missiles can operate in near space due to the rarefied atmosphere, enabling them to fly at a hypersonic speed for long ranges. They are far more difficult to be detected by radar system and to be destroyed by the defense shield. Such missiles can operate in near space due to the rarefied atmosphere, enabling them to fly at hypersonic speed for long ranges. Spy balloons, okay, or solar powered drone and other supporting equipment to carry out at high altitude surveillance around the globe. The command highlights the emergence of the space of the fourth dimension of warfare. About space warfare. Advent of space warfare began in 1960 when the US exploded a ground-based nuclear weapon in space, which led to the Outer Space Treaty of 1967. तो यूएस ने क्या किया था, एक ग्राउंड बेस्ड न्यूक्लियर वेपन को स्पेस में एक्सप्लोर किया था, जिसकी वजह से आउटर स्पेस ट्रीटी साइन हुई थी 1967, और ये कब किया था, 1962 में. Okay, know the term. Militarization of space. It refers to the use of the space in support of the ground or ground, sea and air-based military operation. It helps to improve the command and control, the communication, the strategic battlefield surveillance and the weapon targeting. Special weaponization. It refers to the placement in the orbit of the space-based device that have destructive. It refers to the placement in the orbit of a space-based device that have destructive capacity. Special weaponization. Through this outer space, it will become the battlefield and emerges at the fourth frontier of the war. Space weapons can be divided into Earth to space kinetic weapons, include direct ascent and briefly orbital anti-satellite weapons with a warhead or projectile that directly strikes or detonates near the target specifier. Earth to space non-kinetic. It includes the jammer, laser, cyber attack method, electronic attacks, jamming, spoofing, high-powered microwave, electromagnetic pulses weapon. Electromagnetic pulse. It affects the working of the satellite temporarily or permanently. Space-to-space kinetic weapon. It includes debris-creating, co-orbital anti-satellite weapons that may directly crash into the target satellite, damaging it or pushing it out of the orbit. Space-to-space non-kinetic includes co-orbital jammers and high-powered microwaves, laser, etc. Space to Earth kinetic weapons. Some weapons is deorbited from a carrier specific to a regular terrestrial target. Fractional orbital bombardment warps. Fractional orbital bombardment system missile satellite with a nuclear warhead placed in low orbit that can be directed at a target on Earth. Why space is emerging as the next battleground of war? Satellites, they are a critical component within a state national infrastructure used for the commercial as well as the military purpose, making them a potential target for adversaries. India has two dedicated military satellites, एक GSAT-7 जिसको रुक्मणी कहते हैं और GSAT-7 है जिसे एंग्री बर्ड कहते हैं. We have an absence of a comprehensive international agreement and regulation governing the military activities in space. Treaties like Outer Space Treaty of 1969, it provides the weapons of mass destruction in space, but don't explicitly limit other kinds of space weapons test or military space forces. Rapid development in space technology like microsatellite, nanosatellite, maneuvering satellite jammers, hypersonic missile, they have significantly enhanced the capacity of a nation to partake in offensive and defensive space operation. China has developed capabilities to execute remote proximity operation, physically interacting with the target satellite to repair or refuel the satellite. Lack of transparency and the dual-use nature of space technology have created an element of distress. Transparency नहीं है, dual-use nature of space technology तो distressed हो गया. China's high-altitude balloon was shot down in the US on suspicion of conducting surveillance activities but was claimed to be for meteorological purpose. Countries are investing in weaponization of space to create deterrence and maintain a technological edge over the adversaries for future threat. Countries like China, India, Russia, USA, they have an anti-satellite weapon testing. Creation of a dedicated space forces in countries USA, France, Japan to preserve their strategic interests. Global framework for maintaining peace in Outer Space Treaty of 1967. It is the basis of international space law and prohibits the placement of weapons of mass destruction in outer space. India is a signatory to this treaty and has ratified in 1982. Concern especially with the space warfare, arms race for space weapon, negative impact on the peaceful space and exploration and scientific research, space exploration, scientific research, potential destruction of expensive and the critical space infrastructure, social economic loss, potential destruction of expensive and very critical space emergency. Space debris. Destructive activity in space can trigger Kessler syndrome. Debris created from collision would create more debris, having a cascading effect. Destructive capacity in space can trigger Kessler syndrome. Destructive capacity in space can trigger Kessler syndrome. स्पेस में क्या होती है? डिस्ट्रक्टिव कैपेसिटी. तो Kessler syndrome, which is debris created from the collision, would create more debris, having a cascading effect. Other conditions: increased geopolitical instability or conflict, monopolization of orbit by few sites. State. Okay. Liability Convention 1972. Liability Convention 1972. It outlines the liability of a launching state for damage caused by the space object both on the Earth and in space. Convention on Registration of Object Launched into Outer Space in 1975. This convention requires the space-faring nation to register their space object with the UN. Moon Agreement of 1979 states that the moon and other celestial bodies should be used exclusively for peaceful purpose and the environment should not be disrupted. Partial Test Ban Treaty. It prohibits all testing of nuclear weapons in outer space. All testing of nuclear weapons. India's step for developing capabilities in space. Defense Space Agency created in 2000. Defense Space Agency 2019, supported by the Defense Space Research DRDO. Defense Research and Development Defense Space Research Organization DSRO, and has been tasked with operating the space warfare and satellite intelligence asset of India. Defense Space Research Organization was created to facilitate the development of civilian space technology for military purpose. Mission Shakti, India's anti-satellite missile test 2019, is successfully demonstrated the capability to interdict and intercept a satellite in outer space based on a completely indigenous technology in the SpaceX. It is India's first ever stimulated space warfare exercise conducted in 2000 in space exercise. It assesses the requisite space and counter space capabilities that are needed by India to protect its national security interests. Mission Defense Space was launched to make India Atmanirbhar in defense technology in the space domain. Defense Space Atmanirbhar in defense technology in space domain. Limited budgetary allocation and limited budgetary allocation, limited defense indigenous technology for detection of threat, protection and offensive operation in space, absence of defense or space strategy, low focus in the military application of space. Limited budgetary allocation, limited indigenous technology for detection of threat, protection and offensive operation in space. Limited budgetary allocation, limited indigenous technology for detection of threat, protection and offensive operation in space, absence of a defense of a space strategy, low focus on the military application of space technology. Way forward in maintaining the peace in space. Develop comprehensive international agreement which features such as robust verification mechanism in the development of space weapon, the principle of non-interference in the sovereign space asset, proximity rules on how close satellites can maneuver to each other, mechanism of data sharing, cooperation in the removal of state debris, adopting prevention of an arms race in outer space. Paris. Prevention of arms race in outer space. It is a jurisdiction seeking a ban on the weaponization of space. Paros. Preventing an arms race in outer space. Creating international organization with expertise and credibility in the outer space issue. To regulate the behavior of the state and the non-state actors in space. Creating an international organization with expertise and credibility in the outer space issue. इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एक ऐसी इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बनाओ with expertise and credibility in outer space issue to regulate the behavior of the state and the non-state actors in space. Greater cooperation among the nation for sharing the technological capabilities of the satellite that are located closely or pass each other regularly. News in short. ठीक है. Ship hijacked in Red Sea. India bound cargo ship hijacked by Houthi rebel in Red Sea. इंडिया की एक कार्गो शिप है, उसे हाउदी rebel ने रेड सी में हाईजैक कर दिया. Saudi led coalition, an alliance of 9 countries from West Asia and North Africa led by Saudi Arabia, termed this an act of armed group of piracy. This ship is called Galaxy. Leader is British owned and India bound cargo ship hijacked. This ship called Galaxy Leader is British owned and Japanese operated and was heading from Turkey towards Pipavav in Gujarat. The hijacking occurred approximately 150 km off the coast of Yemen port city of Hodeidah near the coast of Eritrea. एक पोर्ट सिटी है जिसका नाम है होडीडा यमन की है, coast of Eritrea. The Red Sea, a very narrow strip of water extending southward from the Suez Canal to the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, which connects the Gulf of Aden and then with the Arabian Sea. Importance of Red Sea trade route. ये crucial route है for the international trade and energy shipment. Trade होती है energy shipment. Around 93 to 100% of the Arab countries' total export pass through it. Approx 10% of the seaborne cargo sails through the Red Sea, including most of the Asian trade with Europe. Both the US and China, they have naval bases in Djibouti, which point toward the geostrategic importance of this region. Challenges of piracy. Piracy can deter trade along key global shipping choke points and disturb critical supply chains. Strong nexus with local mafia group, illegal trafficking, and even terrorism. Higher costs arise as ships divert around the piracy areas, requiring extra fuel, increasing shipping insurance premium, etc. Piracy poses a significant risk to sailors, the shipping industry, and the coastal states that border the piracy-prone zone. About how the rebel group in civil war with the rebel group जहाँ पे civil war चल रही है with Yemen government ruling northern Yemen and backed by Iran, how they support Hamas and the Hezbollah. Project Kusha. Defense Ministry has accorded acceptance of the necessity for the development of the indigenous long-range surface-to-air missile defense system. About Project Kusha, project is designed under the purview of DRDO and is aimed to operationalize by 2028 to 29. Currently, India possesses Russia's S-400 air defense system for safeguarding the airspace is the S-400. This system is to Russia's S-400 airspace safeguard airspace. The system is to be designed to detect and destroy the wide array of threats, including the stealth fighters, aircraft, drones, and cruise missiles at a range of up to 350 km. The long-range surface-to-air missile system will comprise 3 layers of surface-to-air missile, each designed to engage target at different ranges. Prisoner's dilemma. Defense Minister referred to the concept of prisoner's dilemma in his address to the Goa's Maritime Conclave. Prisoner dilemma refers to one of the most popular games in the game theory. It is a paradox in decision analysis in which two individuals acting in their own self-interest do not produce the optimal outcome. And the best outcome lies in cooperation. Game theory, it is the science of strategy and attempts to determine the mathematically and logically the action that players should take. To secure the best outcome for themselves. Military exercise, the news cousin between India and Kazakhstan joint exercise. Mitra Shakti, joint election between India and Sri Lanka. Military exercise, ये भी exercise Vajrayana, joint exercise between the Indian Army and the US Army Special Force. Thank you. वैसे हम इन्वायरमेंट वाला इसी में कंप्लीट कर दें तो ज़्यादा सही रहेगा. ओके. एयर पोल्यूशन इन द अर्बन इंडिया. रिसेंटली द दिल्ली, मुंबई, कोलकाता वर अमंग द वर्ल्ड्स 10 मोस्ट पॉल्यूटेड सिटीज अकॉर्डिंग टू Swiss एयर क्वालिटी टेक्नोलॉजी कंपनी IQ Air. वाई दिल्ली एयर वर्सन ड्यूरिंग विंटर. हवा ठंडी कोल्ड रहती है, डेंस रहती है, विंड्स लोअर स्पीड रहती है और ड्राई रहती है. स्टिल एयर ड्यूरिंग द विंटर. टेम्परेचर इन्वर्जन एंड कीप द पोल्यूशन एट लोअर लेवल एज वेल एज द स्टबल बर्निंग ऑफ द फॉसिल फ्यूल. द कॉज है most air pollution occurs due to the incomplete burning of fossil fuel. These include the coal, oil and gasoline to produce energy for the electricity as well as for transportation, industrial emission. Particulate matter 2.5 and N, NO2, SO2 and CO, they are the key pollutants that are emitted from industries. Open burning of the garbage waste. Open air garbage burning release toxins such as the black carbon, soot and the carcinogen. It actively contributes to pollution and tend to the greenhouse effect. Construction and demolition. Construction and demolition site are a risk source of particulate matter and the other air pollutant, including the volatile organic compound. Indoor air pollution. Use of toxic products like volatile organic compound in inadequate ventilation, uneven temperature, and humidity level can cause indoor air pollution. Some agriculture practice like stubble burning and use of fertilizer burning in agriculture can release ammonia. Also, livestock farming is one of the major contributors to methane emission. Ammonia क्या कर सकता है, कहाँ से निकलता है? स्टबल बर्निंग, फर्टिलाइजर एंड पेस्टिसाइड्स. इन एग्रीकल्चर से अमोनिया निकलता है. लाइफ स्टॉक फार्मिंग से मीथेन निकलता है. वेरिएशन ड्यू टू जोग्राफिकल process, change in the weather pattern. For example, a dip in the La Nina, cooling of the ocean surface and the change in wind pattern, cooling of the ocean surface का ठंडा होना and the change in wind pattern partly caused the recent spike in the PM in the coastal cities. change in the weather pattern. For example, a dip in La Nina, cooling of the ocean surface and change in pattern partially caused the recent spike in PM in the coastal cities including Mumbai. Dust storm आ गया, wildfires आ गया, natural sources of pollution also impact the air quality in various regions in India. Example, a temperature difference between the city and the nearby hill draws wind and dust from the areas like Navi Mumbai to the city. Variation due to geographical process. Change in the weather. For example, a dip in La Nina, cooling of the ocean surface, and a change in weather pattern partly caused the recent spike in particular matter in coastal cities like Mumbai. Dust storm आता है, wildfires and the natural sources of pollution also impact the air quality in various regions of India. Example, the temperature difference between the city and the nearby hill draws the wind and the dust from areas like Navi Mumbai towards the city. Impact of the urban air pollution. Adverse health outcome. It increases the risk of the respiratory infection, heart disease and the lung cancer. Children, elderly and the poor people, they are more susceptible. Climate change. Certain air pollutants such as black carbon, soot and methane, they contribute to the climate change. Methane is a very potent greenhouse gas contributing to global warming. ठीक है, methane, black soot gas, air pollutant, black carbon, soot and methane in climate change. Methane is a potent greenhouse gas. Okay, livestock farming की वजह से भी होती है. Environmental damage. Air pollution contribute to environmental degradation, including damage to ecosystem, soil and water bodies. For instance, acid rain resulting from the release of the sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide can harm the forest, the aquatic system, as well as the soil quality. Reduce agriculture productivity, ground level ozone, and damages the plant के tissue, affecting their photosynthesis, reducing the crop productivity. Particular matter can also deposit on the crops, affecting their growth. Economic cost. Health impact of the air pollution result in significant economic cost, including healthcare expenses. Health impact किसका? Air pollution result in significant economic cost, including healthcare expenses, lost productivity due to illness. Healthcare expenses, lost productivity due to illness, and the cost of the premature mortality. Health impact of the air pollution result in significant economic cost, including healthcare expenses, lost productivity due to illness, and the cost of the premature mortality. Environmental damage and the reduced agricultural productivity can impact the various sectors of the economy. Okay, health impact of air pollution result in significant economic cost, including healthcare expenses, lost productivity due to illness, cost of premature mortality. Health impact of air result in significant economic cost, healthcare expenses, lost productivity due to illness, the cost of premature mortality. Environmental damage and the reduced agricultural productivity can impact the various sectors of the economy. Regulatory measures taken to improve the air quality. Vehicular emission, BS4 and the BS6 norms, introduction of the clean and alternate fuel like CNG, LPG and ethanol blending in petrol, FEM faster adoption, and the manufacturing of the electrical vehicle 2 scheme has been rolled out. Industrial emission ban on the use of the pet coke and the furnace oil in NCR region. Pet coke and furnace oil. Use of pet coke in process in cement plant में, lime kiln में, and calcium carbide manufacturing unit. Shifting of the brick kilns in Delhi NCR to the zigzag technology. Zigzagging the airflow. Shifting of brick kilns in Delhi to zigzag technology. Zigzagging the airflow in brick kiln for reduction of pollution. Air pollution due to the dust and the burning of waste. Extended producer responsibility framework for plastic packaging, battery waste. Plastic packaging extended producer responsibility. Air pollution due to dust and the burning of air. External producer responsibility, plastic packaging, battery waste, tire waste, e-waste have been implemented. Monitoring of ambient air quality, system of air quality and weather forecasting, and research was launched to know the air quality and the overall city pollution and location specific air quality through air quality index. Challenges in curbing air pollution in cities. Booming industrialization, lack of awareness among the people, upfront cost and changing infrastructure constraint for electric vehicle, upfront cost and charging infrastructure for electric vehicle, rising urbanization, industrialization, awareness नहीं है, upfront cost and charging infrastructure for electrical vehicle नहीं है, balancing the economic growth with the economic growth भी करना है और environmental को sustainable बनाना है, improper waste disposal practice. Okay, National Clean Air Program managed to achieve the reduction up to 40% or achievement of the National Ambient Air Quality Standard for PM10 concentration by National Ambient Air Quality Standard for PM10 by 2025-26 reduction of up to 20%, 40% कम कर देना है PM10 को. We had क्या reduce emission by optimizing power sector. इनएफिशिएंट पावर प्लांट, अगर कोई भी हमारा पावर प्लांट वो इनएफिशिएंट है तो इनएफिशिएंट पावर प्लांट सिस्टम शुड बी रिप्लेस्ड बाय एफिशिएंट सुपर थर्मल प्लांट or with power generator that are based on renewable energy. Implementing a national emission trading system, a market-based instrument with a regulatory framework based on the concept of polluter pay could be implemented. Implementing a national emission trading system, polluters pay. Similar model is existing in the European Union, that is emission trading system. European Union में क्या है? Emission trading system. Implementation of a business model to utilize the crop residue. Direct procurement of the crop residue by the large agro waste management companies, interstate trading for perishable. उनको क्या कर लो? Procure कर लो. Tackle city dust through urban local bodies. Undertaking deforestation and afforestation drive along the roadside, covering landfills with vegetation. Decarbonization of the transport sector. Declaring some expressways in the national highways as green freight corridor. Decarbonizing. Global success stories to combat the air pollution. Seoul, the Republic of Korea. 5G enabled autonomous robot. 5G enabled autonomous robot, and they scan the industrial complex to monitor the air quality, while a satellite monitoring system offers the real-time air quality data to the public. Bogota, Colombia. Strict emission standard on the truck and other heavy polluting vehicles. A fully electric metro rail system. Spain. 4-day work week trial in 4-day work week. 4-day work week trial in Spain lead to healthier workers, less pollution. Southern California. Electric cars. Ship at port electrification. Cleaner fuel for truck, ship and trains, and mandatory installation of newer and cleaner energies. Okay. Stubble burning. So the Supreme Court directed the Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan and Delhi to stop the stubble burning immediately, which is considered a major cause of the air pollution in Delhi. About stubble burning. India, Parli burning. Stubble burning is the process of setting on fire the straw stubble left after the harvesting of the grains like the paddy and wheat. It is usually required in the area that use the combined harvesting method, which leave the crop residue behind. According to official data, farm fires in Punjab and Haryana have been a consistent drop. Why they burn the stump time container? In many agriculture regions, there is a narrow window between the harvest of one crop and the sowing of the next. So stubble burning is seen as a quick and efficient way to clear the field. For example, Punjab and Haryana, there is only a 2 to 3 week time between the cropping cycle. Instead, increased mechanization of the harvesting. Use of the mechanized harvesters leaves for example, Punjab, there is only 2 to 3 weeks between the cropping cycle. Okay. Increased mechanization of the harvesting. Use of the mechanized harvesters leave the stubble 10 to 30 centimeter field, depending on the type of the crop, which was not the case earlier. जब manual harvesting होती है तब नहीं होता, तब 10 से 30 सेंटीमीटर रह ही जाता है. Use of expensive labor for the stubble extraction is not feasible, so costs are very high, especially in Punjab and India, where farm size is very large and the use of the mechanized harvester is common. So no market for the crop residue, low commercial as well as the economic value. ना ही कोई कमर्शियल वैल्यू है, ना ही कोई इकोनॉमिक वैल्यू क्रॉस रिड्यू, coupled with the high cost of the processing, reduce its value for the farmer. Traditional and permissible stubble burning has been a long-standing practice in some agriculture communities. And is considered a traditional approach phased down through generation. ठीक है. Pest and disease management. Farmers view burning the it was a traditional conventional practice. Okay. Pest and disease management. Farmers view burning the stubble can help eliminate pest and disease and weed seeds that may present in the crop residue. Limited access to resources the equipment for residue management also indirectly increases the stubble burning. हमारे पास मैनेजमेंट के लिए है ही नहीं, कुछ इक्विपमेंट ही नहीं है. इम्पैक्ट क्या है? Pollution. Stubble burning makes a toxic pollutant in the atmosphere and containing harmful gases like carbon monoxide, methane, carcinogenic polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon, volatile organic compound. These pollutants disperse in the surrounding and visually affect the air quality. People help by forming a thick blanket of the smoke. Soil become less fertile and its nutrients are destroyed when the husk is burned on the ground. Soil क्या हो जाता है? Less fertile and its nutrients are destroyed when the husk is burned on the ground. Soil भी less fertile हो जाता है. ये कह रहे हैं कि soil fertility बढ़ेगी, वैसा कुछ भी नहीं है. वो less fertile, nutrient destroy, husk is burned on the ground. Okay. Burning paddy straw radiate the heat. ठीक है. अगर burning paddy straw, it radiate heat that kill the fungus and the bacteria which is essential for soil fertility. Heat penetration. Stubble burning generate heat that penetrate the soil, causing increase in erosion, loss of useful microfill moisture. Impact on biodiversity. Fire can destroy the habitat for various wildlife species such as insect, bird, and small mammal which may rely on the crop residue for shelter or food. वो निपट लेते हैं. Emission for storing 1 ton of straw on being burnt release 3 kg particulate matter, 60 kg carbon monoxide, 1460 carbon dioxide, 100 kg H, 2 kg sulfur dioxide. Regulatory measures and the policy. Okay, national policy for management of the national policy for the management of the crop residue 2014 NFC adoption of the technical measures including diversified use of crop residue. जो crop residue है उसका मैनेजमेंट नहीं, इक्विपमेंट नहीं है, यूज़ नहीं है, कमर्शियल नहीं है, कमर्शियल वैल्यू नहीं है, इकोनॉमिक वैल्यू नहीं है, इसलिए वो जला देते हैं. तो डाइवर्सिफाइड यूज़ करो. कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग एंड द ट्रेनिंग अलॉन्ग विद द फॉर्मुलेशन ऑफ द स्टेबल लॉ एंड लेजिस्लेशन. नेशनल ग्रीन ट्रिब्यूनल हैज यूज्ड द फॉलोइंग डायरेक्शन इन 2015. मैकेनिज्म फॉर द कलेक्शन ऑफ द क्रॉप रेसिड्यू. उसको कैसे उसे कलेक्ट करो, देन ट्रांसपोर्ट करो, देन यूटिलाइज करो. फॉर परसिस्टेंट डिफॉल्टर्स ऑफ क्रॉप रेसिड्यू बर्निंग अप्रोप्रिएट कोर्सिव एज वेल प्रिवेंटिव एक्शन हैज टू बी टेकन. एवरी स्टेट मस्ट प्रोवाइड मशीन्स mechanism as well as the equipment or the cost to the farmers to remove and collect the more straw. Remove, collect and store straw. Commission on Air Quality Management in NCR. Commission on Air Quality Management in NCR and joining areas has developed an action plan for the effective prevention and the control of stubble burning. In situ crop residue management, setting up of custom hiring centers, high yield and short duration paddy varieties, staggering the harvesting schedule, extensive use of biodecomposer. क्या यूज़ करो? बायोडिकम्पोजर यूज़ करो. स्टैगरिंग ऑफ हार्वेस्टिंग शेड्यूल, शॉर्ट ड्यूरेशन पैडी वेराइटीज़. जो पैडी वेराइटीज़ है वो शॉर्ट ड्यूरेशन वाली लगाओ. हाई ईल्ड, सेटिंग ऑफ कस्टम हायरिंग सेंटर. XC2 क्रॉप रेसिड्यू मैनेजमेंट, अल्टरनेटिव यूज ऑफ पैडी स्ट्रॉ विद बायोमास बायो प्रोजेक्ट, को फायरिंग इन थर्मल पावर प्लांट, फीड स्टॉक फॉर 2G इथेनॉल प्लांट, फीड स्टॉकिंग कंप्रेस्ड बायोगैस प्लांट, फ्यूल इंडस्ट्रियल बायोलर, वेस्ट टू एनर्जी प्लांट, पैकेजिंग मटेरियल, इन सब में यूज़ कर दो. XC2 क्रॉप डाइवर्सिफिकेशन प्रोग्राम, अ सब स्कीम ऑफ राष्ट्रीय कृषि विकास योजना इन हरियाणा एंड पंजाब अब वेस्टर्न उत्तर प्रदेश इन 2013-14 टू डाइवर्ट द एरिया ऑफ द वाटर इंटेंसिव पैडी ए क्रॉप टू ऑल्टरनेटिव क्रॉप लाइक पल्सेस एंड ऑयल सीड. Government is implementing a scheme for the promotion of agriculture mechanization for in situ management of the crop residue in the state of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh and NG2. NG2 में एक बार फिर से देख लो कौन कौन से हैं. Setting up of custom hiring center, high yield, short duration paddy varieties, staggering of harvesting schedule, extensive use of biodecomposer. Challenges to curb stubble burning. Overcoming deeply rooted traditional belief regarding the stubble burning is difficult. Overcoming deeply rooted traditional beliefs regarding stubble burning. In some cases, farmers may not fully understand the environmental and health consequences of stubble burning. Lack of viable economic alternative to stubble burning for farmers. Thus, economic viable है ही नहीं कोई. State face challenges in allocating the necessary resources for effective regulation and as well as enforcement. Okay. New improved certificates in the Indian Agriculture Research Institute IRA has developed a high yielding short duration variety namely Pusa 209. High yielding है, short duration है Pusa 2090. The Pusa 2090 variety matures in only 120 से 125 दिन as compared to currently Pusa 44. देखो ये पूसा 2090 सिर्फ 120 से 25 दिन में हो जाता है और जो पूसा 44 है उसको 155 से 160 दिन लगते हैं टू मैच्योर. न्यू पैराडी वर्चुअल विल गिव अराउंड 30 days टाइम टू फार्मर टू रीच देयर फील्ड फॉर द नेक्स्ट क्रॉप. इनोवेटिव फार्म टेक्नोलॉजी एम्प्लॉइंग एग्रीकल्चर मशीन्स लाइक हैप्पी सीडर, रोटावेटर, बेलर, पैडी स्ट्रॉ चॉपर. पैडी स्ट्रॉ चॉपर, हैप्पी सीडर, रोटावेटर, बेलर. All these machines are cost intensive. Government could provide adequate subsidy. Cost intensive. So government should provide adequate subsidy to make this machine affordable for farmers. Biogas plant get crop burning. Biogas plant, these are installed by the government under the waste to energy mission and they generate the biogas by exploiting the crop waste such as the dry straw through biomethanation strategy. Pusa biodecomposer developed by the scientists at the IARI which turns the crop residue into manure in 15 से 20 दिन by accelerating the decomposition process. Educating and empowering the stakeholder. Educating as well as empowering the farming community could be an important step to make a significant impact. Encouraging sustainable alternative to crop residue management. Mulching. Mulching involves spreading crop residue on the soil surface as a protective layer. Involving spreading crop residue on the soil surface as a protective layer. Zero-till farming. It minimizes the soil disturbance and relies on the direct planting of the seed into the crop residue as well. Residual incorporation. Instead of burning crop residue, farmers can incorporate them into the soil. Technique like chiseling and ploughing help bury the crop residue, enriching the soil with organic matter as well as the nutrient to residue incorporation. Mulching, zero-till farming. Cloud seeding. Researchers discuss the possibility of using the cloud seeding to tackle the Delhi air pollution. Cloud seeding, it is a weather modification technique जहाँ हम weather को modify करते हैं to enhance the precipitation by dispersing the substance into the air that help to saturate the cloud. It starts by identifying a suitable cloud through weather analysis using aircraft or ground-based generator. Following this, the seeding agents are released into the targeted cloud seeding particles, helping in the formation of large water droplets that lead to the increased rainfall. To initiate cloud seeding, clouds are injected with salts such as silver iodide, potassium iodide, sodium chloride, or silver iodide, potassium iodide, sodium chloride, and dry solid carbon dioxide, which act as the seed. These salts are dispersed to provide the additional nuclei around which more cloud droplets can form. What are the conditions required for the cloud seeding to be effective? Cloud type. Not all clouds are suitable for seeding. Clouds should be deep enough and have suitable temperature, typically between -10 to -10 degrees Celsius. Cloudiness. Clouds should cover at least 50% of the target area. Cloud type. Not all clouds are suitable for seeding. Clouds should be deep enough and have suitable temperature, typically -10 to -12 degrees Celsius. So, clouds should cover at least 50% of the target area. Wind speed should be below a certain level. Humidity. Cloud seeding tends to be less effective when relative humidity is less than 75%. Cloud seeding tends to be less effective. Okay. Wind speed should be below certain level. Cloud seeding tends to be less effective when the relative humidity is less than 75%. Temperature. Cloud seed should be cold enough. Clouds should be cold enough to contain super cool liquid water. Okay. Silver iodide is released by a plane or a ground-based generator. Silver iodide particle reach the targeted cloud. Silver iodide aids in the formation of the crystal, now too heavy to remain in the air. The ice crystal then fall, often melting on their way down to form the rain. Okay. Methods of cloud seeding. Hygroscopic cloud seeding. Use of electrical charges. It involves dispersing salt through flares or explosive in lower portion of the cloud. Following the dispersion, the salt grow in size. It has proved to have positive results in research conducted by countries such as South Africa and Mexico. Use of electrical charges. Electrical charges work similar to silver iodide by helping the water droplet to merge and form precipitation. In 2010, researchers from the University of Geneva, they directed infrared to the air above Berlin. The experiment showcased that infrared can help atmospheric sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide form particles that act as a seed and then they cause rainfall. So, application of artificial rain using cloud seeding. Agriculture. It helps to create rain which can provide relief to drought-stricken areas. For example, the Karnataka government in 2017 launched Project Varsadhari, under which all the aircraft was used to spray chemicals to induce rainfall. Power generation. Varsadhari. Okay. Power generation. Cloud seeding method has been shown to augment the production of hydroelectricity, enhancing rainfall in catchment areas. Production of electricity in Tasmania, Australia during the last 40 years. Water pollution control. The process of cloud seeding can maintain minimum river flow and dilute the impact of treated wastewater discharge from industry. Okay. Minimum river flow refers to the minimum quantity of water or ecological flow that various stretches of the river must necessarily have through the year. How artificial rain can help tackle pollution. Clearing the atmosphere. Rainfall induced through the cloud seeding can help remove the particulate matter and pollutant from the air. Reduction of airborne pollutant. Artificial rain can assist in reducing the concentration of the pollutant, including the dust, smoke, and the chemical, and concentration of pollutant, including the dust, smoke, and chemical, by washing them out of the atmosphere and disposing them on the ground. Mitigating smoke and haze. Cloud seeding can help disperse the smog and the haze, making the air clear and more breathable. Fog dispersal. The cyclone modification during winter. The cloud seeding is generated to increase the mountain snowpack to ensure that the additional runoff is received during the spring melt season. For example, USA in 1960 launched the project Sky Water aimed at fog dispersal. फॉग को डिस्पर्स करते हैं, हिल को सप्रेस करते हैं, साइक्लोन को मॉडिफाई करते हैं. स्काई वाटर 1960 USA 1962 ऑपरेशन स्काई वाटर. Controlling fire. In region prone to wildfire, cloud seeding can be used to induce rainfall and help extinguish fire, preventing the release of smoke and pollutant into the atmosphere. Snowpack is snow on the ground in mountainous areas. ये mountain area snow on the ground that persists under the arrival of warmer weather. Melting snowpack is an important source of water for many areas. Research and experimental studies to better understand the atmospheric process, ठीक है, cloud की physics and potential impact of weather modification issues, फिर inducing artificial rain. Side effect: the chemical used in cloud seeding may cause harm to the plant, animal, people, and even the environment. For example, silver earth material used in cloud seeding can be toxic to aquatic life. Abnormal weather pattern: it may lead to change in the climatic. Abnormal weather pattern अगर change होगा तो climatic pattern, interfering with local weather pattern. High cost: cloud seeding involves dispersing chemicals to the sky using aircraft or flare shot, which involves huge cost and the logistic preparation. Cloud seeding involves dispersing chemicals to the sky. Cloud seeding involves dispersing chemicals to the sky using aircraft or flare shot, which involves huge cost and logistic preparation. Cloud seeding involves dispersing chemical to the sky using aircraft or flare shot, which involves huge cost and logistic preparation. Flare shot with huge cost. Okay. Ethical and legal issues related to water right and the environmental impact. Also, ethical consideration regarding the human intervention in the natural process. Raise question about different communities' rights to natural resource. Collaborative effort between the scientists, जो policy बनाते हैं, policy maker, and the public are crucial to establish the clear guideline, ethical standard, regulatory framework for the responsible implementation of the cloud seeding project. ये जो cloud seeding project है उसका responsible implementation बहुत ज़रूरी है और उसके लिए guidelines, standards एंड फ्रेमवर्क, रेगुलेटरी फ्रेमवर्क सब बहुत ही क्लियर होने चाहिए और इसके लिए कोलैबोरेशन होना चाहिए बिटवीन द पॉलिसी मेकर, द साइंटिस्ट एंड द पब्लिक. To understand the long-term impact of cloud seeding on the dedicated research is necessary to understand the impact of long-term impact of the cloud seeding on ecosystem, weather pattern, and human health. United Nations Forum on Forest. India hosted the country-led initiative event as a part of the United Nations Forum on the Forest in Dehradun, Uttarakhand. India hosted a country-led initiative. इसके बाद से बढ़ते हैं.